All right, part 5, hopefully the final part here. Summarize the abomination of abortion. You know, what people who advocate abortion don't really recognize is the medical, psychological, cultural impact that abortion has on our society. Um, Having doctors become murderers, not a good thing for that profession, gotta tell you. The psychological impact on teenagers being scared into having abortions, of being denied the old traditional teaching of abstinence for their protection, of being denied parental notification so that they can get comfort and information from all sides and all points of view. The psychological impairment of treating life like it's no big deal, without sanctity or out being precious, on children and young adults who yawn when such things are now mentioned and go off on killing sprees and mass shootings, all because we don't treat, recognize, or take seriously the mental conditions that are caused by a society that is treating life less and less precious every day. The impact of abortion has consequences. Abortion is about the elimination of consequences. It is a means by which people can, in one more way, pretend that their actions have no impact on society or other people's lives or even their own lives. I mean, what is liberalism? What is progressivism if it isn't trying to avoid consequence? Muddy the waters, create chaos, turn black and white into gray as often as possible, eliminate morality or make it moving on a sliding scale to suit every single particular situation and scenario as seen fit by the person who's sliding the scale, not even by general opinion. If it's that able to be messed with, then morality has no meaning whatsoever. And no left-winger can quote anything to have to do with morals because they have none. If they don't believe in consequences of their actions, then where are we as a society? Just because a law like Roe versus Wade exists doesn't make it right. Now, seems to me, isn't that what the left used to say all the time when they found laws that they didn't like getting passed? Just because it's a law doesn't make it right. So if you're wondering why we fight against Roe versus Wade, don't wonder, because we don't think it's right. And what's more, we can prove it. It's unjust, it's unconstitutional, it's undemocratic. We're not interested in stopping abortions by stopping Roe versus Wade. We're interested in making it legal and constitutional, having gone through the right method, legislatively, not judiciously. Because I guarantee you, if the people chose whether to have abortion legal or not, you would lose, lefties, and you would lose huge. And that's what you're afraid of. The left claims to be for the little guy and the innocent, just not the most innocent among us, right? Pro-abortionists claim that they feel anyone who has the right to an abortion, anyone should have the right to an abortion. That's what they feel, even if they themselves would not have one. A lot of these pro-choice people say they're pro-choice because even though they wouldn't have an abortion, they wouldn't care or mind if other people did. It's their right. Okay. Let's say someone decided that they wanted to claim to be pro-slavery. You know, they didn't have any slaves, but they felt it was the right of others to have slaves if they so chose to have them. Would that be okay? Of course not. Many pro-abortionists like to cite the lies from the pro-life side of things, and the pro-life side has some lies and exaggerations that I say we are guilty of. I don't speak in broad brush terms. I don't speak in absolutes, as you well know. Nobody is perfectly guilty, and nobody is perfectly innocent. There may well be some lies from the pro-life side. But lying, if it is lying, to protect the innocent is a lot different than lying to try to harm the innocent. I would much rather be accused of lying to save a life than accused of lying to cause a death or a murder. Thus, we once again see the vast difference between the left and the right. One is for life, and the other is for death. And in a perfect world, with the abortion issue not on the table, if you went around and asked people, what would you rather be on the side of? An advocacy for something that helps life or something that causes death? Most people, 95% of them, I would think, would say, well, all things being equal, I tend to want to be on the side of life. Well, who wouldn't? It's a natural way to be. But where are the pro-choicers, the pro-abortionists? Where's the left, the radicals, and the uninformed, scarily uninformed on this issue? They're on the side of death. Boxed themselves in right proper on that one, didn't they? Progressives cannot conceive of the idea of something greater or more precious than their own egos and their own ideology. That human life, in its many forms, irregardless of age, development, size, etc., is sacred and should hold importance over personal, selfish, or political reasons. Can't conceive of the idea that something greater than themselves might, and their egos and their little routine lives might exist out there. It's all about me, 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 me. Women's rights. How selfish can you be? At the expense of another life. How selfish can you be? Although often claimed to the contrary, many conservatives, including myself, have offered to allow the exceptions of rape, incest, and harm to the mother in the case of abortion. I've been looped in as a conservative with all other conservatives, Facebook memes and other places, social media and other places, that all, as if all conservatives think alike, by the way, but if they're a true conservative, we think mostly alike, but don't disavow someone if they don't think like we do, unlike the Democrats who disavow anyone who's not in lock freaking step with the groupthink. But they decided all conservatives believed that we would ban all abortions, period, end of story, full stop, without any exceptions. Now, I could talk and have here the legal requirements don't allow for rape or incest because they're not risk of health to the mother after viability. But the law of the land does allow for health reasons. When health meaning the potential death of the mother or the child is in a fatal condition. That is what it meant. That is what it means. It has not changed. But they like to loop us all together as one big, giant, happy, conservative group who would not allow any exceptions. I have allowed exceptions about abortion since I was able to understand the concept as a teenager and young adult. And I've not wavered from those exceptions at all. As I mentioned, I haven't changed much about the way I believe about this stuff. But if you give a lib an inch, they will take a mile, as I've said. What started out as safe, legal, and rare has turned into, it's okay if you have an abortion in the second trimester. It's okay if you have abortion in the third trimester. Oh, it's okay now to have abortion on your birthday. On the birthday abortion. Oh, it's okay to kill the kid right after the kid's born if the mother and doctor decide to do so. What happened to rare? Nope. Give an inch, take a mile, as per usual. Makes it awful hard to want to give away those concessions as a right-winger, doesn't it? You don't sit there and complain that I am not willing to give away concessions when you do this. When you put this whole issue on the slippery slope of your making and give us the compromise so-called of Roe versus Wade, and then violate Roe versus Wade decade after decade, making more and more abortions farther into the pregnancy as you possibly can, and even after the pregnancy. And then you wonder why we push back? You wonder why we're not willing to give you those concessions anymore? Why would we? I'll make every leftist, pro-abortionist, moron, radical this deal. I'll make you a deal. I'll concede every exception, rape, incest, health of the mother, whatever, if you would allow a law to be passed through elected officials, through the Congress, that limits abortions to the first trimester once and for all, no exceptions ever into the future. There isn't a liberal that would make that deal. No way, no how. Why? Because they always want more. So don't come to me and complain that you think we won't do the exceptions. Because as soon as we offer them and make you concede something on your end, that's the nature of a compromise. Both give something for mutual interest. Of course, a liberal's idea of a compromise is that the right give away all the concessions and they give away none. That's their idea of a compromise. Screw you, not on this. You want those concessions? Rape, incest, health of the mother? Okay. In a way, we already have. It's called Roe versus Wade. But you cannot kill babies in the womb anymore outside of the purview of Roe versus Wade. Is that a deal? Of course it's not a deal. Because you'd never go for it. Never, ever. I hope this video has brought to light some information maybe some of you didn't know. I hope that it brings to light the true nature of the conservatives' mindset when it comes to this horrendous, heinous, monstrous practice. We've backed up a lot on this issue. Far more than logic, morality should ever dictate. We will back up no more. See you on the next one.